GUI here, but we don't actually know what GUI actually stands for. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you everything you need to know in the simplest way possible with examples, so it will not be complicated for us to understand. So if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also like the video if you enjoy it. So I'll be happy to see you throughout this video. So what exactly is GUI? Like I stated earlier, it stands for Graphical User Interface. Make use of visual element to represent its information. Now for example, let's go to our file explorer. Let me close this guy. Let me come to my file explorer here. I come here. You can see this is a graphical user interface. You can see it looks nice. You can see I can come here to, maybe I can come to this my desktop. I can see what is on my desktop. I can click on Airways folder and click on anything. You can see the thing looks nice and easy to understand and to navigate. This is just basically what a GUI is. Let me go back this PC. This is just basically what a GUI is all about. It's, like I said, it's kind of a visual element to represent information, like that of button, of icons, windows, and menu. There are a whole lot of other visual elements that GUI make use of. The main aim of GUI is to make things look neat in the air, unlike that of CLI, which I talked about earlier in my previous video when I talked about CLI, which is command line interface. Command line interface make kind of a text-based command. It doesn't have all these beautiful images you can use to represent a folder. We don't have the background color. We don't have other things. CLI just tend to use a text-based command, like I stated earlier. So with knowing this, so what are the key features of that of a GUI? Like I said, it uses what is called visual component. So with all these things we have said and done, so what are the key features of that of GUI? Number one is visual component. It uses kind of images, like you can see here, icons. Okay, you can see here images, icons, just to represent information, so it will be look good in the eye. And another one is beginners friendly. Just imagine kind of, okay, let me introduce command line to our thing. Let's see cmd. Let me introduce command line so we can understand this better. Just imagine trying to access a file inside here by making use of it. If I try to access it from here, you can see it's not interesting. It doesn't even seem to be either interesting in any way possible you can think of it. And they have another one, Windows and dialog box. It display information separate, organized section. GUI tend to be easily can be used to organize files easily, and have the mouse and keyboard interaction. Like I can see here, I can interact with a particular folder by just clicking on it and then going around with it. With all this being said, let's look at advantages of GUI. Like I said initially, that GUI tend to be beginner user friendly, unlike command line. Just imagine coming to this command line and start typing a whole lot of things just for you to come to this particular point that we are currently on. And that's one of the advantages of GUI, is beginner friendly. Another one is you don't need to memorize commands. Like I can see, I can just come here. My interest is just to come. I can just click on it, do a whole lot of other things. But when you want to do this in command line, you need to have knowledge of a whole lot of command. You need to store a whole lot of command. Maybe you wrote it down somewhere, or you store this somewhere else. But the command, it might be really too much for you to understand, and it's not flexible as this of our GUI. For me to go back in command line interface, I need to type a command to shift me back to folder, shift me back to another folder. But when it comes to this scenario, let's say I'm in this particular, when it comes to this of GUI, I'm here. Like I said, I'm in this particular folder and I want to go back to my PC. I can just go here, click on this PC, bam, I've gone back to my PC. In this command line is basically we can do similar things with this, but it can be a little bit tricky and it requires stronger I can say more lines of code for you to do this. And when it comes to that of GUI, I can do multitasking, meaning that I can open multiple let's say, let me use this example. I can open multiple file explorer. Let me use file explorer. I can just click on here. You can see right now I can open multiple. I can come here. I can also come here. I can do multitasking on this of GUI. But when it comes to that of command line, it's not. You can't just do that. You need to be shifting, moving around, just for you to move to a particular directory, or for you to move to interact with a particular file or folder. So you can also use GUI in case you want to represent graphs, and do a whole lot of other things. So what are the disadvantages? Since GUI tends to have advantages, also comes with its own disadvantage. Let's say in a situation whereby when we come to this of our CLI, you can see we can just type CD and I can go to maybe something like user, for example. Okay, sorry, I've forgotten even the command to go to that user. But let's say when it comes to this of command line interface, you can see I can just type CD and go to a particular folder. But when it comes to this of and then the folder gets printed. But when it comes to this of GUI, when I click on maybe this particular element for it to display the folder that is available and the files that are available, it will load, it will display it for me. But when the files is becoming too much, it might take time for it to load up. This is because it needs to load the graphical everything graphics on it, both the background, everything. That is what one of the disadvantage of the GUI tend to be a little bit slower compared to this of CLI guy. This CLI guy, since it's not loading any color, it's not loading any image, just get your file, the name of the file, and then you can access it and do other things. It tends to be a little bit faster compared to this of our GUI. Then another disadvantage of this of our GUI is that of when it comes to automations for repetitive automation, unlike the CLI, GUI is harder to automate for repetitive tasks because it can be really annoying when you are writing it in this. When I try to automate that of GUI, it's not really the ideal way. And also GUI is not flexible the way we think it is, but we can just click here, you just go to where you want to go. But when you come to that of GUI, if you go to that of CLI, I tend to be a little bit flexible, and CLI compared to this of our GUI. The applications of the GUI, number one, you can think of when it comes to operating system, Windows, macOS, Linux, or Linux Ubuntu, make use of this GUI. We also have the web browser like your Chrome, make use of this GUI for it to look nice and neat when you're writing, when you're navigating around. Also, when it comes to web development, when it comes to game development, mobile interfaces like Android and iOS, I'll make use of GUI for it to look good for the users. So also when it comes to software application, Microsoft, Photoshop, and a whole lot of video editor. Let's imagine video editor having this kind of background for you to edit your videos. I don't think it's going to make sense. So you should know about GUI. Yeah, I covered everything you need to know. Why you should use GUI. One of these why you should use GUI when you want to do something interactive that make use of the visual element, a lot of button, colors, and a whole lot of other things to achieve this. That's one of the basic elements of the GUI. So I think we have covered everything you need to know about the GUI. Make sure to check out my video on the CLI so you can try to understand how both of them differs a little bit. So I think we have come to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll be able to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.